You know what? Every year on opening day, just after daylight, just after the sun comes up, I find myself sitting in my deer stand, daydreaming about what I'm gonna do next year. Cut off that limb, do this, I'm gonna do this and do that. I bet you do too. And the best time to do this is in February and March. There's a whole lot of good reasons for it because there's nothing else to do and it gets you out of the house and keeps you going. And get out there, that's when you want to start cutting them limbs back that you were looking at, doing your mowing, doing your cleaning up, and getting stuff off the ground. So all the natural plants, all the food that wildlife prefer pops up first. And if you do that on your property, all those natural plants will pop up and bring that deer and keep the deer on your property. In my area, it seems like every place I've ever been and lived, the neighbors show up right before hunting season, make all kind of noise, fill up their deer feeders, do all that stuff, and then they feed through deer season, and after deer season, they quit feeding completely. And I love to supplemental feed all wildlife. Like in my other video, I said, all wildlife are in tune to each other. They go by the sounds and the smells of food, water, and safety. So if you got out there and you mow in those areas in February and March, making it pop back up quicker on your property, keeping them in there so you can continue your supplemental feeding program. And then in September and August, go back to where you hunt and do the things that are less intrusive to your area to get ready for bow season. But anyways, this video is going to be about some things that I sit there looking out my deer stand all winter thinking, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. So we'll get started. See those little cedar trees over there? All on this side, all down through here. It was pretty, but I had a lot of little cedar trees, from 4 feet tall to 6 feet tall. So I came in here, I cut them all down. I've drug most of those off already yesterday. But all this other stuff, like see those limbs, those dead limbs laying there, and some of that stuff I cut off the trees. I went in, and I trimmed off all the low-hanging limbs with dead leaves on them, so I know where they're going to grow next year. And I got all these other stuff. Some of that stuff was in here even after last year when I came here with a dozer. I just didn't have time to come and clean it up yet. So I'm going to pick up all this stuff right here. Think about this. Every limb, every rock, every log that you can pick up, there's probably seeds under those logs and limbs and rocks. I think it's been there for years, especially right here. So clean that up. You'll be surprised how much it really, really, really helps for new plant growth to come back faster in your area and bring those animals right back to that area where you want them to be next year. Over here, when you clean it up, can you see that pile of brush? Let's walk over that pile of brush, buddy. See all this right here? Some of this I pushed up last year with the dozer. I pushed it up into here, but all this new green stuff on top, I piled up the other day. Some of the stuff, there's tons of it I cut and drug over here. When you're dragging up and making the piles, don't worry about burning them piles. In fact, in Texas, as part of the wildlife exemption program, you must have brush piles and maintain those brush piles. If you burn them off and try to get rid of them, they'll actually take away your tax exemption. They want you to have those brush piles because they're beneficial for all wildlife. That's why when you come in and clean an area like this, when you get on your lawnmower and go mow your areas, you're benefiting everything that lives in your area. And the more wildlife you have, the more wildlife you will have. They follow each other. So, but anyways, don't worry about burning it. Just push it up or pile it up in your air piles and just leave it. And for a lazy guy like me, it hates to burn, especially with all this cedar in this part of the world. I do not like to burn. I'm right along with that program. When I was working with a dozer last year in here, like for example, this dead tree, it's fallen over a long time ago, so it's been laying there. There's seeds from years and years under this right here. But with these big old rocks right here and going down this hill, it wastes too much time trying to move these rocks to get to logs. So I'm gonna hook on this with my chain and hook it onto it with my winch on my four-wheeler, pull this up out of the side of this hill, and then take it off somewhere where I can cut it up in firewood later on this year. But
I'm gonna let you do it.
don't get in there.
I'm not.
All right, see how open this looks in here? Of course, it's late winter, so it's more open than it's going to be. But when you're working in February and March and you're trimming your limbs and cleaning up and all that kind of stuff, you probably need to do about a third more than what you think you need to do. Because if you do that, that just assists in everything popping right back on your place much quicker. I love all these high weeds now. They're almost 36 inches tall. I'll be coming in here this week with my ride lawnmower, places like over there, all over here, everywhere that I have where I can mow and don't hit rocks. I'll move them if I can, but I'm gonna mow all these tall weeds down. That knocks the seed off, and that way by March, I mean, this place will be greening up fast and brand new little legumes and bean shoots and all that stuff is popping up. And February and March is when that really starts. Like in areas like this, where I mowed it last year, but it already grew up this much by now. So I'm gonna come here, mow this out this week. So by end of February and March, I mean, it's going to be the first to pop up and bringing in all those legumes and bean shoots and grass, tender young grass, and everything the wildlife really, really love. We have those turkey are always up there in the backyard, and Claire's area there where it's opened up there. They love that area because I've opened it up. There's all kind of seeds. There'll be bugs, grasshoppers, all kind of stuff for the quail, the dove, and the turkey, and that really does help. There's my deer stand right there. That's a 4x8. I got it turned so you only see the 4-foot side right there. So all this deer season, I'm always sitting in there daydreaming, man, I need to do this, I need to do that. So over here on this side right over here, I got a bunch of real big old cedars, and I didn't want to take them out with a dozer because I want to come in and hand trim all this stuff with my chainsaw. So I'm going to trim this all off, pull it up, leave it in the pile back in there, and then open that up a little bit better so I can see. And especially what's going to help me this year when my grandkids come back to go hunting, it gives us more time for them to get on the animal they're trying to take. And then back over here behind my stand, it's I'm going to move that stand back probably 16 feet back into the brush. That way it'll basically just disappear. And I'm going to clean it all out, and then that way I won't have to have these brush piles stacked up from a deer blind. I don't like that because that's a place for rattlesnakes this year to show up, so I got to get rid of that. And then back this way, I've come in here the other day when I was chainsawing, and I've already cut a big cedar right in the middle of that opening down there behind that feed pen where I can see them, because they were staging up back in there behind there, and when I had my grandkids, they would always be able to get across that opening where they couldn't shoot. So I've cut that down, gonna trim back limbs and things like that, clean that up. But anyways, I'll show you a little bit of what I'm doing. I guess if you see me cut one limb, you see me cut them all. But I'm going to put that in the video to show you some of that. And this is my 24-inch Craftsman chainsaw. It's heavy, but I really, really do like it. So with these bigger cedar limbs, I'm going to use this to cut it down. And then I'll hook onto it with my winch on the front of that four-wheeler and pull them off. But it really is, it starts every single time. And I really, really like, I got this, a 24-inch, and I got an 18-inch Craftsman. I bought them, you know, they're pretty new. Just bought them just last year, and they work excellent. Then my little 14-inch Echo, I really love that little rascal. That's good for cleaning up those little small cedars. But cedar, got that cedar sap in there. I mean, I tell you, it's a lot easier to cut off oak limbs than it is that cedar, because that starts dulling that chainsaw real quick. But I really do like this. I don't know about you, but I can almost feel when my chainsaw is going to start. So usually by the third pull, it's always going to start. Third pull. Push in that choke a little bit. Second pull. Got that cut off, I'm dragging off with the winch and the four-wheeler. When we bought this place 2 years ago in June, I started working on dozer out here and driving through here and doing everything, and we didn't see any wildlife. I mean, we didn't see any deer, you didn't spook anything or anything. I told Claire, man, oh man, I guess this place was shot out, you know. It's a real old property. But I started doing everything that I always do, and the things I'm trying to, you know, some ideas I'm trying to give you. And now, I mean, Claire will put some of those pictures on that we've gotten all through the year. We've had elk, red stag, fallow deer, an animal called a silk, which is a crossbreed between a cyca deer and an elk. We've got one of those big bulls on here we've seen. He runs with the elk. And aoudad, turkey, all kind of white-tailed deer, hogs, too many hogs, the big old white-tailed deer. And the only reason why we haven't shot a great big giant trophy bull this year is because I am too lazy sometimes to get up in the morning when it's cold and get out here when I need to. Every single time that I said, I don't think I'm gonna go in the morning, it's too cold, and they probably won't be moving anyway. I checked my camera, they were there that morning. After daylight, easy shot. But anyways, the amount of wildlife by doing these simple improvements, they like what grows natural better. You can go out there right now and buy you some bags of clover and bags of this and bags of that, throw it out, come back, and it's probably never gonna come up. But you can get out here, you can mow this stuff, you can cut them limbs back, you can pick up logs and rocks and clean up and make it, think park-like. Every time you clean up your hunting area, think park-like. And you will be surprised the simple things you can do that don't cost a whole lot of money that really improve the amount of all kind of wildlife on your place. Turkey season starts the very first part of April. So this gives me a chance to get outside, do everything I can, get me out of the house, keep me thinking positive, and make the improvements I can and be done and ready for turkey season. So I mean, it's a win-win situation all the way around. And it just makes you feel so much better, especially in February. It's a hard month for all of us to get out of that house and keep moving. Another good thing about in this area, starting February and March, is rattlesnakes. You have less chance of seeing rattlesnakes February and March than you will in the spring. Of course, in Texas, I've seen rattlesnakes in December on a sunny day in South Texas, so you never know. But overall, it gives you a lot more confidence to grab them brush piles and move them, pick up stuff. Think, well, they're probably not moving. So, but anyways, That's just another benefit starting right now too. I mowed on both sides right here for the deer and turkey. It's so pretty. It looks like Fort Bend State Park coming in here, you know? All up here. They got all kind of thick brush and open manicured areas for plants to grow. And then of course I got my feeders and my water. Tomorrow I'm gonna weed eat all back in here.
It's looking great.
I tell you what, the benefit is of mowing out on your hunting property with a riding lawnmower. I love mowing this dry weeds with my riding lawnmower. It absolutely just mulches it up into real small fines, which is absolutely wonderful for wild turkey. And I use this Cub Cadet like it's a tractor, but it's really good. Even better than a tractor because you can mulch those dry weeds up into real fines for birds and wild turkey. Very beneficial.
Well, that's a big difference.
Okay, this is my third day out here cutting, loading up, and dragging. So right here I've cut a lot more limbs back, so for next year I can see better. I've got it all weeded and mowed and everything like that. Way down there in that clearing past the feeder, that's where a big cedar tree was. I cut it down. Like I said, they stage up back there and hide from us. And over here, the first day you probably saw me cutting these big limbs over here. And so what I did, I cut all these big limbs. I went back in here, and this was a complete and total loss in here, because those cedar choppers came in here 15-20 years ago, and when they did, they just cut and they left stuff laying everywhere. Nothing can grow. It's only good for rats and rattlers. So I went in here, I cut all these limbs back, I picked up every big thing that I could possibly pick up, and then I mowed, and where I couldn't mow, I weed eated. And now all I have to do for the rest of the year is just maintain it about every 2 or 3 weeks. And there's seeds that's been laying out here for years, and it's gonna be popping up. So spring, everything that likes to eat something good will be over here at Don's Cafeteria.
It looks great. I love it.
Over here's my stand. I haven't done anything to it yet. Pretty much have everything just like I want it, other than dragging off some more of those limbs I had left in the canyon, small cedar trees and stuff like that. Drag them off. Where I pile all this brush up for deer season, I'm gonna move it tomorrow. And I'm gonna turn this box blind back sideways again, because it is a 4x8. The only reason why I got this is for me and the grandchildren. So I'll back it up, put it back there where they can't see me. And I just can't wait for turkey season. And out here, you know, of course, during this month of February, we are gonna try to get an elk. After February, we won't shoot any more elk or anything like that. But we have turkey and hogs and aoudad. And so when if any grandkids want to come and hunt, or my brother or his son or anybody, we have plenty out here and have a lot of fun. I just want to show an example of what we have out here that we have to deal with. You know, when I clean this up with a dozer, I go around, I try to run in all the rocks, just pick up my blade, run them into the ground, but you're not going to get all of them out here. So what I do, I've got that Cub Cadet as high as it'll go. I think it says 4, but whatever it is, it's as high as it will go, and I'm able to, I got to watch what I'm doing, but I can mow around out here like this everywhere and don't have to worry about hitting it. So I mean, it's pretty good. that you can use your riding lawnmower. Just think, if you didn't have rocks in a place, how much could you get done? But I just want to show you this. This is what we're dealing with to get this mown. And when I get through with this, in the spring when everything turns green, I'll really show you some pretty pictures of it. But it's going to look like a state park. And that's what the animals love. They love state parks, don't they? Came over here, I pulled up all those old dead cedars that were cut down from them cedar choppers, probably 20 years old, dragging them up the hill, stacking them up all over there, and cutting all the limbs I cut down. But back down there, I got a whole bunch of those little bitty cedars cut down. I got to drag them up, cut a few more big cedars, and drag off some more cedar logs, and I'll be done. So I got one more day out here. But
well, it looks great.
Thank you. It's going to be so pretty now. When you're hunting this next year, you'll be able to see all on this side over here. Nothing can run back in there where it don't see. And for 20 something years, nothing has grown on this dirt right here. So now that we're opening it up, cut the limbs back, got all that old cedar chopper mess left off, drug off, you're going to see. And a lot of times it's that little bitty stuff you can't hardly see. It's little bitty teeny plants that those deer love, and that's going to really pop up this year by late spring.
Oh, it's going to be beautiful.
It will be.